Alright everybody, this is Flash001 USA. It is 7:15 p.m. January 5th, it's Saturday night. I'm doing a second test run on this tri-filter system. I want to see if I see the same blue flame that I did the last time when I've done this. I did do a couple of tiny modifications. I'll talk about that at the end of the video, nothing major, but I'm hoping and thinking that it's going to make some improvement on it, overall that is. So with that said, I'm going to keep this video really short. So basically I'm going to be editing in and out, just showing you the flame and letting you see it at different time intervals. This way it's not long and drawn out, because right now this is all about the filters. On that note, I'm going to fire this thing up, so as always I'm going to let you guys see me ignite it. Here we go. Already seen a little bit of smoke coming from it. Okay, as always, I'm igniting this thing off of 4 cups of wood pellets and a handful of the wood that I'll be burning, which is nothing but just little pieces of sticks and whatnot. I'm going to pull this off here and we're going to walk over and take a look at the ignition port on this thing, so you guys can see the nice cherry red flame that's going to be inside of it. So, I just think this is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever shown this before, so give me a second to position the camera. Look at that. I mean, dude, that's bright. I can see it on the camera that it's extremely bright. That's after igniting it. And God, this thing is stinking with smoke here. I want to bring something to everybody's attention. Plus, it gives me a chance to answer a question that I've been asked on more than one occasion. And that is, why do I ignite before the filters? Why do I have a pre-ignition port on it? Well, if you notice, when I light the thing up, it's just billowing out all sorts of smoke from it. It looks like one of those 1960 era mosquito trucks driving through the neighborhood, blowing out smoke oil to kill mosquitoes with. I don't want to put all that garbage through my filter. Plus, I want you to pay attention to something else, if you didn't already pick up on it. When I do the first ignition, the fire itself is not even touching the tube. It's dancing like a round ball, bouncing up and down, and it's above the fire tube. Then all of a sudden, as you're watching it, when there's enough coals built up inside the bed in the gasifier, that flame all of a sudden drops down and becomes stable, and then the flame jumps up and becomes a pretty big flame, even if I'm running 6 volts. At that point, what I'm looking for, I start looking at the bottom of the flame and I'll start noticing some blue coming into it, even though it's not filtered. And when I see that, then it's time to switch over to the filters. You'll notice though, when I switch over, that there's nowhere near the amount of smoke coming out of the tube, even on the pre-filtered side of it. This is why I do it this way. You know, it just helps with the filters. It doesn't stress them by putting that initial blast of garbage through them. So for those of you that were asking me about that, I hope that kind of clears that up and answers that question for you. Now, as always, I got a good light. I'm fixing to fire it up here. I got a feeling it'll light up. Now, if I light it up too soon, you'll watch the flame poop back down in it. Let's see what we got here. Make sure you guys are in the picture with me. It may foot back down in it. Nope, got it at the right time this time, guys. If you light it up too soon, there's still a mixture of oxygen in there because you're still dealing with not only the wood gas, but you're dealing with residual oxygen, and when you get the blowtorch effect, it'll actually foot back down there backwards. So on that note, we got a nice orange flame. This is what I normally expect to see when I'm doing this. It's literally dancing on top of the pipe. It's not even, it's not actually coming out of the pipe. When this thing warms up, that flame will actually jump onto the top of that pipe and hang on it. That's how I know that I've got it warmed up. I'm gonna see if I can get closer here for it, let you guys see it. So excuse me being bumpy with the camera. Can you see that? The flame is actually dancing, I don't know, I'm going to show you my fingers. Right about there. It's actually about almost 2 inches above the pipe, right at it. So that's always a good, that's how you always know that this thing is still warm enough. I'm going to actually cut the fan back on this thing a little bit too. I don't think I need the fan running this high on it. I'm on a lower current setting right now, and still 12 volts, but it's just a much lower current setting. Now I'm going to drop down to about 6 volts because I already think that I've got a bed of coals in this puppy, and you know, you don't need to sit here and draw all the crap out of it when you're warming one up. So here we go. Down to 6 volts, and at that point it drops. Good. Now I've got a big old giant flame on this thing right now. And hopefully you can see this. This is nice and orange, the way I would expect it to be when you're first igniting a gas up on something like this, okay? So, I'll sit here and let it cook for a minute, and once I feel that it's warmed up enough, I'm going to throw it over to the filter, so it's probably like 2 or 3 minutes. On that note, people, I'm going to pause out, and we'll come back on it, okay? Alright, I'm fixing to switch over on the filters here, and go to the filtered, because right now I'm still running the raw gas unfiltered. So just wanted to see the yellow flame on it. This is what I expect when I'm burning something, you know, especially without any filtration. Okay, this is what you should expect on one, an orange flame. I've actually got some blue on the bottom of this thing, strange enough, mixed in the bottom of it, so that's kind of a good thing to see right there. Lets me know that I've actually got a decent sized burn going in this thing. I'm going to check the temperature by hand with everything just to see how it's feeling over here. I lucked up on this setup I've got, people. I'll tell you right now, the pipe's just ice freaking cold. The whole system's not even warmed up. I mean, it's just extremely cold here. So there you go on that. I'm going to back off here, and we're going to switch over. So I'm actually going to let you see me switch this thing over. I won't ignite it because I'll have to give it a couple of minutes to get going. But I want you to notice something also. This flame is actually getting bluer and bluer without the filters. Okay? And I think a lot of this has to do with my 10-gallon tank and that the ability to capture the water like I'm capturing. Because as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I just want you to see this. That flame is actually starting to get cleaner and cleaner without filters. That's kind of scary, actually, to see something burning that clean right there, especially for a FEMA to be burning that clean without no filtration. So we're going to switch over to the filters and let this thing do its hickey. Notice too, while you're at it, I'm going to see if it's in the video, that now the thing is properly going, it's just barely even got any smoke coming out of it. Let's switch to the filters. Alright, people, that's the filtered side there. I'll have to let this thing run because keep in mind that this smoke has to pull through the system. It's got all that pipe, which meant I went from 6 volts back to 12 volts. 12 volts at my low current setting, so the fan's still not rushing as hard as it could. And as soon as I see a little bit of wisp of smoke come through this thing, I'll give it a moment and then I'll fire it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause out here, and I'll pause back in. I'll kick back in when I go to ignite it so you guys can see it ignite. Or that is, well, wait a minute, I'm starting to already see smoke coming out of it. So on that note, I think I'll just wait here. The filters definitely make a major difference. I'm going to tell you right now. The smoke is taking more of a steamy look to it. I wish you guys could see this. I've got the light closer this time. Alright, I'm going to back off with the camera here, and I'm going to ignite it. I think it's going to be okay. I don't see any flashback on this, and I'm going to tell you why. Because my filter medium pipes are not empty, and it could foop, but I don't see a chance of it going back through the whole system. Here we go, people. Good God Almighty. I told y'all that I made some changes with the filter. There it is, people. The time is 7:26. It's natural gas blue. Read 'em and weep. That's coming off of a FEMA gasifier. You guys watched the first ignition going through the filters. As I said, I did some modifications to it. And also, something else I need to mention, because me and YouTube user Techno Freak were bouncing this back and forth. Techno Freak, guess what? I washed out the stainless steel pads. Well, they went back into the filter soaking wet. So maybe the humidity and water does play into that. But there you go, man. Shoot. I'm going to let it sit here for a minute. That's bragging rights there, man. That's bragging rights. I'm speechless here, man. I'm telling you right now. I figured the filters would have to warm up for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes to get this gas. I'm going to turn this light off here so you guys can see it a little bit better. It's so dull, I don't think the camera's going to be able to focus in on it. Look at that, people. I'm turning this back on. Alright, just because of the way this thing acted, today is Saturday. If I feel up to it tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and sit down, and I've got to build a frame for these filters, okay? And I already know how I'm going to do it. I just got to get down and do it. It's going to be some experimentation, but I want to give you guys the complete, absolute, it's finished, nothing else to do build to this. Because I want to make it so that when you guys have it in hand, that you can put it together and there is no guesswork on this. No joking, people. Those filters are smoking. I can tell you right now, this flame is so blue that I'm outside with it. The camera's seeing it better than the naked eye does. Okay, I think I said the time was right at 7:30 or something. I'm going to pause that. It is 7:30 now. If it wasn't, it was a few minutes before, but right now it's exactly 7:30. I'm going to pause the camera out here, and I'm going to try to come back at 8 o'clock with you guys, okay? So stay tuned. All right, everybody. It is now 8 o'clock. The system as a whole has been running for 45 minutes. I've been pulling through this thing filtered for 30 minutes, and it started off immediately with the baby blue flame. And so this is now 30 minutes on the filters. I'm going to come in on it with the camera. I'm running on 6 volts. Just didn't feel like consuming a whole bunch of fuel real quick. But there you go. It's baby blue, and the filters look like they're actually doing what they're supposed to do. So you're looking at what I'm looking at here. I'm going to reach over here, and also I'm going to blow this thing out, and we're going to take a look at what's coming out of it. And then I'm going to take some quick measurements as far as temperature goes, okay? So I'm going to back off. There's not even nothing coming out of it, not even a wisp, nothing. I'm not joking. I mean, there's nothing coming out of it. I don't even see a distortion, like if you're in front of something. If it is, it's so light that you can't even see it. So let's go back over here and light it up. Now I want to take some temperature measurements of the system. Hopefully you guys will see me in here with it. Alright, let's do this, people. I'm not going to get into the water or what's captured or any of that. Right now we're just looking at the basics of this thing running, okay? So, first thing I'm going to do, you guys, I'm going to measure the top of the gasifier where the gas is coming out. Give you a temperature on that. Pretty cool, actually. It's about 150 degrees. That's a tad bit cooler than what it normally runs. But then again, this thing fluctuates, trust me. Now, I'm going to measure the top of this thing. 110 degrees on the top of the 10-gallon propane tank. Let's measure the side of it. 91 degrees. And as you can see, I've got my hand on it. And it actually feels good because it's not really cold out here the night, but it's still nippy. And on the side of this thing, I mean, it almost feels cool to me. And this guy here is extremely cool. It can't be that hot. The 104 degrees on the output of this guy right here. I don't know what's going to get in the camera. I'm just going to feel this by hand. Okay, by the time I get about 3 feet up from the tube, it's ice cold. And these pipes over here, they feel like they're laying on the ground out somewhere. There's no heat on them whatsoever. So there you go. Got a baby blue flame. It's been steady for the last 30 minutes since I switched over to the filters. I'm going to zoom back in here again. Let you guys get one more look at it. Like I was saying earlier, if I got to get up and go with me tomorrow and my day goes good for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try. I've already got an idea how I've got to do this to make a frame for these filters so they're good and sturdy. And, you know, because I'm trying to do this too where everything can be easily disassembled and cleaned, and I've got it to that point now. But if I get that out of the way early enough, I'll probably sit down and try to make a video. I did go get the stuff to do some hole drilling for you guys and show you how I did everything. Just I went and got a couple new pieces and fittings, and I got scrap pipe, and I'm going to show you exactly how I drilled my holes and made things happen. And if I can, I'll go ahead and get this build up for you. And I'm going to give you the exact dimensions that I built my filters, okay? This way you'll be able to recreate what I've got here and try it for yourself. So on that note, fellas, I'm going to pause out. I'll be back in another 30 minutes. Okay, everybody. It's now 8:30. So this is the 30-minute check-in with you guys. Let's see what we got going on here. Flame never fluctuated, not one bit. So we've been running technically now 1 full hour through the filters with 0 fluctuations. I want you guys to see this, get a good look at it for yourselves. I'll run this test for about 4 hours. That's the way I've been doing it. And there you go. While I'm at it, I will make temperature measurements. Just to do that so you guys have that information under your belts. So here we go. 150 degrees, that's what it was last time, or something like that. The top of this, the 10-gallon propane tank is 107. Make it 108 degrees. Seems to be stabilizing right there. Let's get the side of it here. 91 degrees. As always, you can see me laying my hand on it. This guy here is cooler than it was last time, the coupling that I got welded to with the pipe. 102 degrees on this coupling right here, and ice cold. I'm not even going to stick this on it. It's just ice cold. Something I am going to do real quick is I'll tell you how much water is in the mason jar, just because I didn't do that last time. I didn't even look at it, to be honest with you. Not quite a half inch right at it, so there you go, people. But there it is. I'm going to zoom in on it again here. We're now at 1 full hour through the filters. That gas right there will easily run a little 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor, no doubt about it. It's propane blue, man. That's all I can tell you. As a matter of fact, how's that for a comparison? I'm going to pause back out here. I'll check back in with you guys in 30 more minutes. Alright, people, it's now 9 o'clock. Another 30 minutes has went by. 0 fluctuations. Once you get a look at this, got a little bit of wind out here, but other than that, you can still see the flame. Alright, what I want to do now, I'm trying to fill this camera up full as much of it as I can here. What I want to do now is I want to blow this flame out, and let's take a look at whatever's coming out of it without a flame on it, okay? Then I want to follow up and take some measurements, and just may as well document it. I'm here, the camera's here. So let's do this thing here. First things first. There's nothing coming out of it. I'm going to get behind it to give you a surface. Maybe you can see. Put my hands trying to give you a surface here. There's nothing coming out of it. There's not even fog now. So I'm going to zoom in on it. This camera stay focused for us here. Try to get a little closer here. Sorry about the camera. There's nothing coming out of it. At this point now, there's not fog. There's nothing. Okay? I mean, it doesn't even look like there's lots of things hooked up to anything. Let's fire it back up. Yet you can see there's definitely something coming out of it, no doubt about that. Okay, something else that I think that I need to do here too, just to keep everybody in the loop and, you know, let everybody know exactly what I'm burning in this thing. As I've told you in past videos, all I burn is sticks. So I'm going to zoom back out here. I got some wind blowing up here, so it may put it out. If it does, it ain't a big deal. This is what I'm burning right here. I actually upgraded and got me a plastic bin to put my stuff in here, but let's take a look down inside the tube here too. Turn the flashlight on. Zoom in for you. I just want you guys to know what I'm really burning in this thing, which is sticks, okay? I light up off of wood pellets, and that's about it, but I'm just burning stuff that I can get out of the woods and either smash with my hands, or I can use that old axe head. I don't even have me a hand axe. So there you go. On that note, I'm going to put the camera back up on the tripod here and give you guys some measurements, just because I'm already here with the camera. Maybe some of you all would be interested to know what's happening, since I'm doing this on a 30-minute basis, to kind of let you see what's going on temperature-wise. Once again, get the top of the gasifier here. about 152 degrees. Gets up slightly, but now not really. I mean, it fluctuates. The top of this thing is 110. The side of this puppy here is 90 degrees. Let's hit the coupler that's leading into the output pipe. 105 degrees. Still, you can see I'm just laying my hand on it. I mean, it's it feels kind of good because it's getting a little bit nippy out here. I don't know where the camera stops in, but I'm telling you right now, the rest of the pipes on the, when you start getting to the dual pipes, they're pretty much cold. Once you get, you know, once you get to the top of it, maybe the first foot down, you can tell there's some temperature in it. But other than that, I mean, they're ice cold. And this kind of takes me back to what I've said in the past videos, that I think the key to this thing was going with that 10-gallon tank there. I think that plays a lot into it. That cooling the gas down stabilizes it. That's just, you know, personal observations. I could be totally wrong on this. But, you know, everything I did off a gut feeling and instinct of what I was seeing going on. And every upgrade I've made to this thing, I've seen it only get better and better. So obviously, I feel that I'm doing something right here. But once again, there's the flame. And on that note, I'm going to shut the camera back down. And I'll come back on here in another 30 minutes. Alright everybody, it's 9:30 on the button, but I'm going to zoom in on this flame. This horse came right out of the barn like this. As soon as I switched over to these filters, as you've seen from the intro, that it's just burning baby blue, and it has been burning like that since. I'm going to compare it to something. I did this earlier in the night. I don't remember when it was, but propane blue, man. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to blow this thing out, and let's take a look at it, what's coming out of it. Okay, I'm just going to reach over here and snub it out. I got a piece of paper here, so I'm going to try to put a background behind it, so hopefully you'll be able to see really clear, and it'll help you see if there's anything coming out of it or not. So here we go. Okay. From where I'm standing right now, I can't see anything coming out of it. Hopefully that's helping. Maybe the camera stayed focused, I don't know. But where I'm standing at, there's nothing coming out of it. Nothing at all. It just looks like air coming out of it. You know, which means, going back to what I said, nothing at all. So I'm going to fire it back up. Okay. There you go. As always, I'm going to take some temperature measurements. I'll be editing this video out to keep it short so I don't put everybody in a coma with it. But I just wanted you guys to see this, and now you know what we got here. So let's go and take temperature measurements here. Alright. Top of the gasifier. 143 degrees. Top of the 10-gallon propane tank. 101 degrees. The middle of it, 93 degrees. The fitting, 94 degrees, which I believe that because, I mean, it seems like the temperature does this depending when I load it up full of fuel. Like, I probably need to put more fuel in it. That's cool to the touch, not like cool, but it's about body temperature. These are ice cold over here. So there you go. As a matter of fact, look at that. The gasifier is running so cool. I got my hand on it. I could even grab it right here. It's crazy, man. I don't know. All right, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. It's actually about a couple minutes after 10. This flame is burnt solid blue, natural gas blue. No fluctuations in it, period, whatsoever. I couldn't be more pleased with this. Now let's go ahead and take some temperature measurements. I've been doing this every 30 minutes for you guys. It's just a learning experience. You never know what you may learn, so stand by. Okay, people. The top of the gasifier, 137 degrees. The top of the 10-gallon propane tank, 95 degrees. The side of it, 84 degrees. The coupler that's on the output pipe, 87.5 degrees. That's where I stopped because it's no use measuring the pipes because, like I said, that's cold. That's not only cold, freezing cold. This thing's running extremely, extremely cool. I could even grab a hold of the pipe coming right out of the gasifier. That's crazy. It really is. All right, people. The brand new FEMA emergency rain cap. That way, if it starts raining, you can protect your gasifier during the storm. I got rain coming down here now. It's now 30 minutes since I did the last one. So I'm going to shut this down 30 minutes short of what I was wanting to do. Starting to get some rain out here. But I know if it's done this long, it's going to go another 30 minutes without doing anything other than what it's doing here, which is running absolutely perfect. So you see it. Couldn't ask for it to be any better. And I will be getting this build put up for you guys as soon as I can get my ducks in a row with it. So just bear with me on here. But as I said, it's always open source of what I'm doing. Flash 001 USA, and I'm going to be shutting the camera down and unplugging electrical appliances. Because electricity and rain does not go together, boys and girls. Good night, everybody. Give you guys closing on this. I had to shut the lights and everything down and put everything up. It started raining, it's backing off some, but I'm only falling 30 minutes short of all these tests. And I think the conclusion is this filter works, and not only that, it works really good. So there you go, people. Okay, everybody, I got to tell you, I was totally blown away from these last filter tests. If you remember the video that I did prior to this one, if you watched it, for those of you that may have seen the one before this one, it took about 30 minutes for the filters to stabilize, but once they did, I did have propane blue gas the whole night, okay? This time, when I switched over to the filters, it was like reaching up and flipping a light switch. It went from a dirty yellow flame to an instant baby blue eyes, perfect, textbook perfect blue flame, and it stayed like that the whole night. Not only that, I was able to blow the flame out. There was no fog. There was nothing coming out of that tube. I even emphasized this. I went up to it. I stood behind it, put my hands over here and zoomed the camera in on it, put the lights on it. I wanted you guys to see it for yourself so you wouldn't think I was pulling your leg, okay? I did tell you that I was going to make some changes to this system. And they weren't that major, but I'm going to tell you what I did. First thing that I did, it was what I consider to be the most major thing is on my paper filter. Before I closed it up, I took it, and on the outside of it now, I loose packed it with wood chips, and then I put it back together. That was the most major thing I did. Now, I also did something else different. Instead of leaving a dead space in each filter tube that was empty from this, I don't know, about a foot on up to the top, I went ahead and topped everything off, but I don't think this is why I got the results I did. I'm going to tell you why I think I did. I had pulled the steel pads out, and I cleaned them in OxyClean. That's what I was showing you guys in the other video too. And scrubbed them nice and clean, rinsed them off and all that good stuff that you do. I took them, I shook the water off of them, and then I dropped them in the tube. Well, they were still wet, okay? They were still sopping wet, even though I shook them off. That's the only thing that I would see that would make the change. I don't know, I guess the filter's being wet, maybe the tar was attracted to them. I don't know. But all I know is this is twice that I run this test and had stellar results with it. And the second time just blew me totally away, okay? That's the only thing I can tell you right there. So, I went ahead today and I examined all the filters, pulled everything off. Something weird that I noticed right off the bat. There wasn't but maybe, I'd say 2 cups of water through the whole system as a whole, minus the 10-gallon propane tank. It had its usual 4.5 or 6 cups or whatever it was in it. It was pretty full like it always gets. And I got a feeling that the reason that water is brown, I thought about this, it struck me today, okay, in the bottom of that propane tank is filling up full of water. Well, that smoke is hitting right on top of it. Not only is it catching hard particles, but maybe some of the tar is sticking to that surface of that water and is going into it while it's still hot. and maybe that's why it has the color Coca-Cola. So maybe I'm getting some major hellacious filtering right there in that tank. Maybe. Okay? There you go. You know what I know now. Oh, the filters looked extremely clean this time. I was blown away by that. Even the paper filter wasn't all browned up. It still had a lot of white in it. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is I'm happy with this build. So as I said in the last video, I will be making a new video just as quick as I can. I'm going to give you guys the exact dimensions that I've cut these tubes. I'm going to give you everything to recreate what you see in these videos down to the last of everything, including filter medium. I've also got some scrap pipe that I'm going to cut up and show you exactly how to put the torch to it so you can take the parts that are non-conformant with each other and make parts that weren't made to work with each other marry up and work absolutely perfect the first time with perfect seals. So I will make that video for you guys. Just bear with me. I had a lot going on this weekend. I was going to try to do it today, but it just didn't happen. On that note, as always, I'd like to hear your feedback on this. And I'm going to shut this camera off. So this is Flash 001 USA. And I want you guys to have a good evening. Good night.